Hey, Chem 11 Enriched, I'm back. So here we are, still continuing on with section 7.3, and I want to finish off with something that's not in our textbook. It's kind of like something that we've done before, but kind of not. And so I'm talking about something called a balanced formula, something called complete ionic, and then finally net ionic equations. Let's take a look at this reaction here in this picture. It is what is known as a precipitation reaction. Precipitate is a solid that has low solubility, and so this is a pretty dramatic, cruel demonstration. In our first beaker, we have potassium iodide that we're pouring into this second beaker that has lead 2 nitrate. So potassium iodide and lead 2 nitrate are both colorless. Here, let me just keep scrolling down. So both of those in this first picture here are colorless solutions. The first one, potassium iodide, is a soluble salt, of course. It contains the potassium ion, which is an alkaline ion, so it is soluble. And so in that first beaker, we have potassium ions and iodide ions, surrounded by water, of course, aqueous solution. In that bottom beaker, we have lead 2 nitrate, and it too is a combination of ions that makes a soluble salt. That's because it contains nitrate. Anything paired up with nitrate is soluble. And so in that beaker, we have lead 2 plus ions and some nitrate ions. And when we pour the two together, we get, well, the second picture. And the second picture, is pretty dramatic as the two meet. Some brilliantly yellow solid forms. And we know it's a solid because when we let that beaker sit over time, that solid sinks to the bottom. And if we were to filter it, we could filter that solid out as well. So what on earth is going on? Well, if we really look at it, it's nothing more than a double replacement reaction. This double replacement reaction, let's see what we form. So let's see. We trade places, then that means we have lead 2 iodide and we have potassium nitrate. Those are the two products of this double replacement. Interestingly enough, they've put the little solid here after lead 2 iodide. And they put a Q over here after the other product, potassium nitrate. Now how? How did they know that the solid is the lead 2 iodide? Think about that for a moment. How would you know of your two products which one is that solid? Yeah, that's right. So you go back to your solubility table. We saw the solubility table way back when in section 7.1. Here it is. And so lead 2 iodide. So here's iodide, here's lead 2, and so lead 2 iodide has low solubility. Low solubility means that it does not dissolve very well. It means that we are going to see that solid. It means that we call it the precipitate. Precipitate. So there we go. That's how we know it was the lead 2 iodide that is our precipitate. The other product would be the potassium nitrate. Well, potassium anything is soluble, right? And anything nitrate is soluble. So soluble means that it's going to be AQ, dissolved in our solution. All right, so let's go back to my notes here. Oh, that's right. I had asked you in my instructions to write this out. Now, obviously, I'm not going to ask you to draw out the pictures, but let's write it down a couple of things. All right. So again, the title is Balanced Formula, Complete Ionic, and Net Ionic Equations. So there are really three equations that we can write. This first equation is what you're used to. This is our balanced formula equation. Now in our balanced formula equation, just because it is significant, do write down whether that reactant or product is aqueous and soluble, or whether it is a solid and is our precipitate that is of low solubility. So starting with our left-hand side, we have our potassium solution coming in. We have our lead nitrate solution coming in, both of which are aqueous solutions. And in our double replacement reaction, we have then the lead iodide, which we designated to be the precipitate based on the fact that it has low solubility. And then our other product is our, potassium nitrate. So I've written the proper formulas, and I've written down aqueous or solid to remind ourselves of the solubility of those compounds. And of course, let's balance two of those. There we go. So this is what's known as a balanced formula equation, right? Nothing new. You've seen this in grade 10. The only thing that might be different is the fact that you are going to, I'm just going to grab a different color pen, right? Remind us that this is our precipitate. We know it is our precipitate because it is a substance that has low solubility. Okay. Now, of course, when you're writing the equation, you don't have to label that, right? Just because we're in our notes, and when we come back to our notes, we want to remember how we knew that was our solid. All right, moving on. Our complete ionic equation. So this is our equation that shows how ionic compounds really exist in solution as ions. So for example, our potassium nitrate, it's not like we really have Ki in our solution in our beaker. We really have our potassium ion with a +1 charge and our iodide ion with our -1 charge. Now, I balanced the equation earlier. Oops. So let's keep it all balanced. So 2 of the potassium iodides breaks apart into 2 of the potassium ions and 2 of the iodide ions. So it's kind of like, when you really think about it, kind of like writing our dissociation equations. We're thinking about how that compound dissociates in water, giving us ions. Be very careful to make sure that you are writing charges, okay? So a piece of potassium K with no charge is silver. Potassium ion with a +1 charge is colorless in solution. So big difference between charge or no charge. It is something that definitely I would look for. Next, I'm breaking the next compound down into its ions. So that would be the lead +2 ion and 2 of the nitrate ions, each with a -1 charge. There you go. Get rid of those arrows. That was just to prove a point. On the right-hand side. Now let's think. Did our precipitate break into ions in our beaker? No. It's sitting at the bottom as a solid. So sitting at the bottom as our solid, we would simply write it as such. Sitting at the bottom as a solid and not in solution as ions. Let's keep going. Our potassium nitrate, that is also our product, would be really the potassium ion, Aq, and let's see if I can just move over a little bit, and 2 of our nitrate ions, -1 charge Aq. Okay, and of course that came from here, just in case you're wondering where I got that from. All right, now this here is our complete ionic equation. It should naturally be balanced because our previous equation was balanced. Let's just double check anyways. Yeah, 2 Ks, 2 Ks, 2 Is, 2 Is. Okay, we're good. Now, this complete ionic equation is kind of clumsy and long, and really it's a huge story, right? It's talking about how these ions came together and we formed this. But what if we want just the short story? Just tell me what happened. So the short story is our net ionic equation. Let's take a look. There were, in our beaker, some things that really didn't do anything. Let me grab a different color pen. Who didn't do anything? The potassium ion on the left-hand side and the potassium ion on the right-hand side. So the potassium ion went into the reaction and came out of the reaction unchanged. Similarly, if you see, I know you're thinking it, the nitrate ions went into the reaction and came out unchanged. So these are called our spectator ions. Spectators sat around and watched, right? So then let's go back. What actually happened? What actually happened were the 2 iodide ions and the lead ion, and really in no particular order. If you wrote the lead ion first and then the iodide ions, it's all good. Those 2 different ions came together to form our precipitate. So this is our net ionic equation. This is the short story. This is the story of, hey, those ions came in and formed our nice yellow precipitate called lead 2 iodide. There you go. 3 equations. You've kind of seen this before, actually. You saw this way back when in a lab that we did. The lab was us making chalk, right? And so us making chalk, I don't know if you remember, it was sodium carbonate coming in, it was calcium chloride coming in, and of course, let's write the double replacement reaction. So that would be sodium chloride and calcium carbonate. So here's our balanced, no, not balanced, 2, yeah, there we go. So here's our balanced equation. Let's add some phases in. So sodium carbonate was a solution. Calcium chloride was also a solution. Both of them are soluble. And on the right-hand side, well, sodium chloride is soluble. How do you know? Well, sodium anything is soluble, remembering back to the solubility table. And calcium carbonate. Well, let's check calcium carbonate. Is it truly a, whoops, let me just clean this up real quick. Okay, carbonate is at the bottom here. Here's carbonate. It is not, calcium ion is not an alkali ion, so calcium ion is here in the category of all others, so calcium carbonate has low solubility. Whoops. Here? No. Here? Yes. I'm so lost. Okay, we're back. So calcium carbonate is our precipitate. And you can imagine writing the complete ionic equation and our net ionic equation, right? You know. Yeah? So let's jump right to our net ionic equation. It is the short story of how the calcium ion came in, carbonate ion came in, and the chalk here was our precipitate. We filtered it, we collected it. Yep. I'm really lazy. I didn't do the complete ionic equation. You can do it. All right, I think I've come to the end of my 15-minute limit on my video here. Okay. See you next time.